OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, they've arrived, and if you don't realize it now, you may never. The Timberwolves are real. The Nuggets are in a battle. Clippers are done. The Lakers are looking for a new coach. And it's Seis de Mayo. How you feeling, boys and girls? Morning after Cinco. What's like what feels worse? The Monday morning if Cinco de Mayo is on Sunday or Super Bowl Monday? Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
Oh, goodness.
You all right?
I might.
Good weekend?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, what do you think people like have more of a, I don't know, hard time getting out of bed?
I think the answer is just yes.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah,
Just
fair.
went.
Yeah,
You didn't care the next day it was Monday.
yeah. It happens to be, though. And you wake up and you're, oh, damn, it's Monday. And it is. Hope you had a good Cinco. Hope you had a good weekend. Lots going on. It was beautiful until about noon yesterday. So hopefully you got your golfing before noon yesterday because it was gorgeous out. And then you hunker down and watch the hoops and the golf and horse racing was great over the weekend. Nuggets 99, Wolves 106. JJ, you've been worried about this. You've been leery about this. You said that you think the Wolves are going to win this series, and for Nugget fans who said, "Yeah, we got Jokic and we got Jamal Murray and we're the defending champs," Nugget fan, meet the Minnesota Timberwolves. Say hello to Anthony Edwards.
Nothing about just being worried or leery. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the best team in the Western Conference. And you can make an argument that they're the best team left in the postseason. They're that good.
I still think it's an introduction to a lot of people.
Oh, and I agree with that.
I think that there's a lot of people who just, yeah, whatever. They kind of looked at the standings and they saw Oklahoma City 1 and Minnesota 2 or 3 all year with the Nuggets right thrown in there and figured, all right, well, but yeah, when it comes down to crunch it, and it's not over. One game does not end a series, especially when it's the first one. But I think there's a lot of people who are now being acquainted with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like probably nobody knew anything about the Orlando Magicians and Paolo Banchero. They saw Paolo Banchero yesterday and said, whoa, that dude's pretty good. Oh, Donovan Mitchell's with the Cavs? The dude that used to be with the Jabs? Yeah, that dude. I think this is just a time where people just become acquainted with it. JJ, you're in a battle, man. Jokic turns the ball over a lot. 7 turnovers to go with 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. But it was Anthony Edwards who came out hot, shot the ball 29 times, 43 points, 7 rebounds. You get Karl Anthony Towns throwing in 20 more. And 16 off the bench from Naz Reid. 106-99 in Colorado. Minnesota steals game 1.
I've been talking about Anthony Edwards for a long time now.
Yep.
Reggie Miller was screaming it during the entire broadcast. I do believe that right now he's the best two-way player in the NBA. Efficient offensively, a menace defensively. And Minnesota is built to not just beat the Denver Nuggets, but play multiple styles because they can throw Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Naz Reid at Jokic and frustrate him. The number 1 defensive efficiency in the league has translated into the postseason, and then you have a scorer like Anthony Edwards, and then you get the role player stepping up. 14 of the 16 points from Naz Reid came in the fourth quarter. Despite the foul trouble, Karl Anthony Towns scored 20 points. The Nuggets do not have a defensive answer for this team, as Minnesota shot 71% from the field in the second half, and that was also the 6th straight game in the playoffs that Denver has trailed by 9 or more points in the game.
Yep. And against the Lakers, they were able to come back, and against this team, they were not able to come back. And Edwards, the 43 was a career high in the playoffs, franchise record in the playoffs, and he's the truth.
They don't have a matchup for him. They're trying to play Caldwell Pope on him. Caldwell Pope's too small. You play Aaron Gordon, well, then that leaves Karl Anthony Towns.
Because they play the bigs, yeah.
A mismatch somewhere on the floor. And it kind of goes back to when Minnesota made the trade for Rudy Gobert, and people lost their minds. They're like, he gave up 4 first-round picks for a center. This is not the way the game is played. They had a plan. And their plan was they knew they had Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, top pick in the draft, and they developed him. I'm just so impressed with the way Minnesota plays. And something that you can stop telling me the Denver Nuggets won a championship last year. That's not helping them play defense. That's not helping them start games faster.
They did win a championship.
They did. That does not help them in the fact they've played 6 straight playoff games. And can you be tied in the first quarter at some point in time and not down 12, 14 points?
Well, with all due respect, nobody gives a damn if they won. Nobody that they're playing against. When does Anthony Edwards get paid? He's making $9.2 million a year. When does he get
He
paid?
signed his extension.
He did?
Yeah.
So what's he going to get? Is he in that
It's like $250,
over?
like 5 years or something.
Yeah, so
Like he's locked
$50
in.
million a year. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you look at that roster. Karl Anthony Towns at $36 million a year. Conley's making 24. Gobert is making $41 billion a year. It's insanity, and I don't know how long they keep this thing together. This is their run, and they're making a hell of a run. And then the forgotten team, Oklahoma City. What was the last time I saw Oklahoma City? Are they ever going to play again? They play tonight?
I believe they start their series tomorrow because they had to wait for
the Clippers.
Clippers and Mavericks
Yep.
to finish up their
Yep,
series.
and that ended up with the Mavericks beating the Clippers 114-101 in Game 7. Kyrie Irving went bonkers after halftime, scored 28 in the second half. And, you know, I think the conversation is, and I there was part of me that felt guilty for a minute, but I think we do it the right way. When a series ends, we tend to talk about the team that got beat. And I think that is right because we're going to continue to talk about the team that wins, right? We give the credit, and Dallas won the series. This isn't a Clippers lost the series kind of a thing. Dallas won the series. And so give all the credit in the world to the Dallas Mavericks. But I think the story is it's like when the Lakers got beat, right? What do they do next? Are they going to fire their coach? Yes. Are they going to get rid of their whole coaching staff? Absolutely. Are they, now what happens? Well, I think with the Clippers, it's the same thing. Paul George is a free agent. Can they keep James Harden? Do they keep Ty Lue? They signed Kawhi Leonard middle of the season to a 3-year, $150 million extension. And so what do they do, dude? They're going into that crazy new toilet-filled bathroom. They got a million bathrooms there.
It's smart.
Arena. Is it? Do I need that many? I mean, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Just want to go and get back to your seat.
Yeah, no lines at the restroom at halftime are a bummer at a game. I mean,
This is brilliant what
Okay.
they're doing because they're thinking about quick concessions,
Yeah.
like different options for that.
I do want to go to
Restrooms
the
in and
arena.
out.
I do want to go. And just seeing it from the outside.
100% about the fan experience.
Yeah, we'll see. The product's got to be good, doesn't it? And look, how many arenas do they have in that town? I mean, the Forum's still a concert venue. Crypto.com arena. Now they got this one. They got so many venues. God bless LA area. What do they do now? My gut tells me Paul George is not coming back. Sixers feel right. Orlando feels interesting. Do you think he's coming back?
I think they have a good shot
Okay.
to keep him because they've, shown the willingness in the extension they gave Kawhi Leonard. Paul George will have something like that on the table if he wants to. Paul George is not going to go play for the Orlando Magic. He's not.
Just because they're the Orlando Magic?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think even for Paul George
live with
at
that.
this point in his career, there's a sense of isn't he from California?
Well, he's a California guy.
Yeah.
He went to Fresno State.
He went
I
to
don't know where he
Fresno
grew
State,
up.
but there's the sense of he's been there, done that in his time in Indiana. So does he kind of want to go?
I think he wants to win at this point. I mean,
And honestly, I don't think the Magic are like as well as they played going 7 games against Cleveland. Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner. I like that. If I'm Orlando, absolutely that's a route I'm going. Is thinking, hey, we have these 2 young stars. One with superstar potential in Banchero.
Mhm.
Add a veteran player to try to solidify it. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Paul George feels like he'll re-sign and they'll move forward with Kawhi and PG.
and they just sign him to the max that they can. But
Yeah.
the word coming out of there is Kawhi's got to make more than him. I don't even know why, because Kawhi misses half the games. There was 237 games played out of 400 and I'm throwing a number. It's 200 something out of 400 and something. I mean, not quite half, but almost half the games that he's missed since he's been a Clipper, and he missed the back end of the playoffs again. And I love me some Kawhi Leonard when he's healthy. Kawhi Leonard, to me, was one of the most intriguing players in the NBA when he was healthy. He was the one guy that you could throw out and could stop anybody. He could stop somebody on the perimeter. He could stop somebody in the post. He learned how to score. But, JJ, the absolute most important ability is what again?
Availability.
Yeah. And so, do they keep Harden?
You have to. I think you have to choose at that point.
One or the
Do you
other,
wanna
right?
Go in with Paul George, or do you want to pair up Kawhi with James Harden?
I mean, if it's one or the other, and I'm choosing Paul George.
I am too.
And I think everybody is. And I think the Clippers would too. It's up to Paul George now to decide, can that team win? Because I think he's hit a point in his career where he's made a ton of money. He's done everything but win. And, Kawhi's won. Kawhi can be somewhat comfortable. I mean, he's got 3 years, $150 million lifespan. He's got two rings. James Harden's never won. I think he'll end up somewhere else again. And Paul George has never won. And he's, how old is he now? He is 1990. So that makes him, it's May. He just had his birthday. So he's 34. He's got a bit left. It's interesting, man. What do you make of the Mavericks? Mavericks, Oklahoma City. Quick snapshot. Mavericks are gritty. They got so much to throw at you. Oklahoma City is the number 1 seed. They're long. The next guy people are going to start watching is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and go, whoa, that guy's really good. And you're going to go, yeah.
Yeah. The challenge is going to be Oklahoma City. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to have to play defense in this series unlike he had to in the first series. And, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an excellent defender, but can he do that and maintain the scoring load? He's going to have to be Anthony Edwards in this series because Lou Dort is going to switch between Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And what we're seeing out of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic right now is just an unbelievable chemistry. The offensive efficiency is off the charts with these guys. And so that's going to be my biggest thing is those two players for OKC. How do they manage to try to get in the grills of the Mavericks' top scoring options? And can they be consistent on the other end? Because what we're seeing out of the Dallas Mavericks is unexpected because people, you fall off. You see it at the end with Kyrie and Brooklyn, this or that. He's fit in nicely, and they trust each other. And that's the biggest thing is Kyrie and Luka trust each other. They kind of have a sense of when one or the other is going to take over a game, and this is going to be a fantastic series.
Text line, Dallas has dramatically improved their defense. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Well, and that's what's impressive is, yes, the stars matter. We talk about these huge contracts, but it's what you do around the edges when you have those guys. And for the Mavericks, they realized their deficiencies have been the interior for a while now. And Derek Lively is a rookie out of Duke that plays good minutes off the bench. They have a veteran guy that no one knows about, Daniel Gafford, that's just solid. He's efficient. He plays both ways. They acquired P.J. Washington at the trade deadline, just a stretch 4. He can shoot threes. He can handle the basketball some. And they've done a really good job of putting the right pieces around Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving to allow those guys to be so effective because you put the ball in their hands, spread the floor, and go to work.
All right, here's where we are today, 505-246-0610. That's how to get in. That's our Sports Animal phone line and the Sports Animal text line, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com, Twitter or the X _JJ Buck, Facebook, the OD and the AM. You can watch the show. Adrian's producing for you there. It's also on Comcast Channel 26 and on the YouTube channel for ProView Network. So when we come back, what's next in the NBA? Get you the full lineup of the second round now that it's all set. And get your resume together. Lakers are looking for a coach, and a lot of people are going to get an interview. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Good morning.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito, he's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado, be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
So I tell you to stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo, where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Don't look now, but Lobo baseball is tied for first place in the Mountain West Conference. They beat UNLV yesterday 14-2. JJ, they got 7 straight hits. Actually, 10 straight 2-out hits. 10 straight 2-out hits yesterday. Beat the Rebels 14-2. So conference standings in the Mountain West, New Mexico and Fresno State tied for first at 14-10. Nevada and Air Force are tied for third at 13-11 with San Jose State 2 back of them. Lobos have 6 conference games remaining. They will play the Aggies non-conference tomorrow out at Santa Ana Star Field, 6 o'clock. And then they get a home series with Nevada, and they will finish up on the road at San Jose State. Conference tournament, if they make the top 4, is in San Diego. So a big weekend series win for Todd Brown and Lobo baseball. And haven't heard much about them, but they're tied for first place right now. Hitting the ball. More than you could say about the Isotopes. 11-1, they got beat yesterday. And I went out and watched them. It's a tough watch sometimes. If you're just out there for the baseball and not the mariachis and not the dancing and not the taco, although we were there for the taco race. Red Chili ran away yesterday. Oh, just smoked it. But, Al Hurricane and the mariachis jerseys. Great crowd last night. I think I watched a dude walk. They went to the bullpen, brought in a guy, walked in 2 runs. Brought him in and walked in 2. Faced a little walk.
Not surprised.
That's a tough watch sometimes. Catch the Derby? I know it's not your thing. Did you catch the Derby?
No.
It was awesome. Mystic Dan won in a photo finish. 3 horses coming through at the end. Did you see the picture of the photo? You haven't seen a picture of the photo? Okay, find that at least. I think that.
I know we talked about it on Friday, Saturday. I forgot it was on.
Did you? Yes. Yeah, we watched it. 16.7 million viewers. So people watched the Derby this weekend, most since 1989.
Also, I think it's the most money that's been bet on it in a long time.
Even though we couldn't bet here?
Yeah.
$210.7 million bet on the Derby. $20 million more than the previous betting record, which was set last year. Yeah, and the photo finish. I was on the 11 horse I told you the other day. Was right there in the Forever Young, right there in the photo. It was terrific coming down the stretch, and Mystic Dan was the winner of the Derby. I think more people were kind of fired up because they couldn't go down to the Downs and bet. Well, with the dudes I play golf with yesterday, it's like, that's our thing, dude. We go down there every year. Well, you can still go to the Downs. Yeah, but it's not the same, and I totally understand. It's not the same. All right, here's what you got left in the NBA right now. Eastern Conference semifinals. Indiana and the Knicks. Cleveland and Boston. Cleveland and Boston has the longest odds for the favorite, or the shortest odds for a team to win in a semifinal round. They were telling me in history, JJ. Boston is gigantic favorites over Cleveland. Do you give Cleveland a puncher's chance or no?
No.
All right. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, Boston is that much better. It's to me, I think you want to. Boston and Minnesota are the 2 best teams left.
Okay.
In the blast.
In the West, it is Minnesota and Denver. Minnesota's up 1-0 on the Nuggets. 106-99. Game 2 is tonight. And then it's Dallas and Oklahoma City. Will that finally get started tomorrow? Doesn't it feel like a year since we've seen Oklahoma City?
You sweep a team in the first round, and the other
one goes 7.
Goes 7.
Yeah,
you're gonna be waiting a little bit.
Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, it's nobody's fault. It's just how it is. All right, Lakers are looking for a coach. Darvin Ham got the axe. He's the fall guy. I don't know if I agreed with this, JJ. I watch the NBA sometimes, and I know we had the conversation, and this was a big piece when the Nuggets won last year. Michael Malone got a lot of the credit, their head coach. And there were, what is he, in his 12th year now? There was a lot of time over those first 10 years where I think some Nugget fan, not all, but certainly at some point, probably most of you, were saying it's time. Got to get rid of Michael Malone. And they stuck with their head coach. And I don't know if that's why they won. I think they won because they had Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, and they were finally healthy, and Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon, and they had a good team. But they stuck with their coach. Lakers go through coaches you go through your draws. And they fired Darvin Ham, the first Lakers coach to make the playoffs and not return the following season since 2011. That was Phil Jackson. It's the 3rd time in 6 off seasons that they're out looking for a new coach. It's hard for me to look at that roster and say they should have beat the Nuggets. I can't sit here and tell you I'm surprised. I'm just going to sit here and tell you I'm not sure I agree with it.
It's par for the course when it's teams and LeBron James. Coaches don't stick around for a long time. They get the axe. This one, I don't really think it was a huge Darvin Ham was the problem.
I agree with you.
It was Jamal Murray hit 2 game-winning shots that flipped that series. And so there's not one you're looking at and say, did they not foul here? Did they not foul there? Part of that, too, was a couple of the games early on, LeBron James looked like he was 39 years old and didn't show up in the fourth quarter. And so Darvin Ham is supposed to do what with that?
In a couple of games, D'Angelo Russell couldn't make a shot.
D'Angelo Russell goes cold. Or that last game, Anthony Davis takes a normal bump in the paint and gets a stinger.
Yep. It's not Darvin Ham. This one's a hard one for me to understand. And I understand it because that's what the Lakers do. And they fired their whole staff. And now they're looking at J.J. Redick, Mike Budenholzer. I like Mike Budenholzer as a coach. I think he's a terrific coach. He's off the Pop tree. He was with Pop for, 25, 30 years. And then won a championship when he was in Milwaukee and they got fired. And they fired, by the way, good thing they fired Adrian Griffin up there too. Now, I don't know that Phil Jackson was going to win without Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard in Milwaukee. Where do they go? I mean, is this a J.J. Redick thing? Is this whoever LeBron wants? Is that where they go here?
It's exactly where they go. It's, LeBron has tried to distance themselves from this conversation over the last few years, but he's at the part of the conversation as every star player should be on their team. Is you just want them involved, but then you also have to be able to make a decision for your franchise. And it's what you talk about. With the Nuggets, the first 3 years of Michael Malone, they didn't go to the playoffs.
No. And they stayed with him.
And they stuck the course. And for them now, they're at that moment where you're looking, going, all right, what are you doing? How do you change things? What impact do you have as an NBA head coach? And I think for whoever is coaching LeBron James outside of Eric Spoelstra, who had the backing of Pat Riley all those years, it's 2 years and you're done. If you're not playing in the NBA Finals, you're done. Because we also did watch this Lakers team with a very similar core go to the Western Conference Finals last year. Mm-hmm. Lose to the Denver Nuggets in the first round. They were not destroyed in that series. I don't look at that series and say it was major coaching issues.
They lost 8 out of the last 9 games of the Nuggets in the playoffs, and almost all of them were really close.
Why they lost that series. And to your point, it's like, all right, you start laying it out there. I think J.J. Redick is fascinating.
It is.
For a coach. I don't think he's fascinating for the Lakers job.
Well, maybe where he ends up. I
mean, if he gets that, awesome. But I also look at it and say, to me, that's more of a... It's just 2 years pretty much is all you're going to get. I mean, that's all that LeBron has left. So if you're someone like J.J. Redick, you go in, you have that relationship with LeBron James, you cut your teeth with him for 2 years, and then
what?
Do they keep you around when LeBron leaves? Do they try to restay? Do you get a chance? The new Lakers roster.
You think LeBron stays? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think probably. You think they draft his kid? And they got needs, man.
He's sitting there in the second round, yeah.
They got needs. Now, I guess in the second round, if that means I get to keep LeBron for 2 years, that's a good draft pick, right? I'm basically drafting LeBron James for 2 years.
And then if someone else takes Bronny, you just kind of say, all right, you're playing that game of, is LeBron legitimately going to go to wherever his son is? And I don't think the answer to that is 100% yes.
How do you want to be on that roster? Like, give me a guy on that roster. Give me an Austin Reeves. Just somebody. I don't know the dynamic of the team, but just a dude who's on the team who contributes, but maybe isn't in LeBron's inner circle, and his kid's there. Man, that's a weird locker room, isn't it?
I think Austin Reeves is.
All right, maybe it's not Austin Reeves. Yeah, that might have been a bad example.
Anyone else coming off the bench at this point?
Yeah, it just feels like it's weird. Jason Kidd was the guy that was mentioned for that job. He's the Mavericks coach. Mavericks signed him to a multi-year deal. That just came down within the last 20 minutes. His name was out there, so he is re-signed. I mean, I guess these things mean something. If I re-sign you to a multi-year deal and give you a raise, I guess that means you're not going to the Lakers.
It does. And Jason Kidd's been an interesting journey. He wasn't great in Milwaukee. And he got the opportunity kind of extend it. And there's just so many dynamics. Some of the coaches with younger teams, it feels like they have a bigger impact. And then when you're a head coach like Jason Kidd, even Michael Malone now, with the way the Nuggets have developed, you're playing, psychiatrist. You're just trying to keep the ship settled when you have star players on the roster, because that is a ship that is navigating dangerous waters when you have Kyrie Irving on board.
Yep. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, J.J. Watt retired. Is he going to unretire? And where would he go if he did? Because that's getting a little louder. That's next. 505-246-0610 is the Sports Animals phone line and text line. International Protective Service continues to do amazing things. They heard you when you asked for their help to protect businesses and homes in Santa Fe. Lots of calls are coming in for service up there. And if you live in Santa Fe and you're concerned about threats to your property up in that area, call IPS. In Albuquerque, police response is still hours away, especially for home and business break-ins. In most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. They install alarms and camera systems. Then they monitor those cameras 24/7 to raise the level of security around your home and your business. You've noticed IPS officers at local retail stores, Targets, Walmarts. IPS making a difference for them too, and they can help you as well. They've helped me for years. They come by my home every day, give my family a sense of security. I traveled quite a bit over the last 3 weeks. They were by every day. Exterior checks, picking up packages that were delivered, making sure everything was good. Look, your home's supposed to be a place of security. If someone breaks in, it's devastating for that sense of security, and you don't know when it's going to happen. So let IPS keep eyes on your home or business around the clock. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque a better and safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
NML. They roasted Tom Brady last night. Actually, pretty good production. Kevin Hart, Gronk, Belichick was out there. They all took shots together. Belichick, Gronk, Brady, and Edelman taking shots on film. And it looked like they threw it down his neck. I think Gronk spiked the shot clock. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. There's another J.J. That other J.J.? Not you, but the other one. I mean, when people think of J.J., they think of you, J.J. Buck. But J.J. Watt, pretty good player in his time. Can he return? He retired, and he's keeping the door slightly open for a possible return to the NFL. Houston Texans need him, then he might be there. And that would be his final year. He said, quote, this is J.J. Watt now. I told D'Amico Ryans last year, don't call unless you absolutely need it. But if you ever do call, I'll be there. And he knows not to call unless he absolutely needs it. This is the last year I'll tell him that because I'm not going to keep training the way I've been training. That was his quote. He's 35 years old. He played with D'Amico Ryans for the Texans in 2011. That was Watt's first NFL season and D'Amico Ryans' last.
Just go play a year.
I mean,
he's been
right
ever since you saw a spark of something with C.J. Stroud, and then what they did last year. That talk has been there, especially he's one of those guys that does a weekly appearance on the Pat McAfee show, and they're always pushing him and poking him about that. And I think with J.J. Watt, he looks at this and goes, "Man,
right?"
And he went to the playoffs for six seasons in Houston. But they never had this type of ceiling. You never believed that, the early years, Matt Schaub was going to get it done. They had that one run with Deshaun Watson. They go in Kansas City. They have a big old lead at halftime that they lose. And that was the closest that, J.J. Watt ever had to an extended big-time postseason run. He wants to get back on the field.
It sounds like he really wants
to go be a third down pass rusher. Go hang out with the guys for a year.
Stop talking about it.
Go do it.
Yeah, 100%. Just go do it. And I think at 35 years old, I think dudes can still play. So it resets the clock on his Hall of Fame. Whatever. It's still going to be there. They loaded up front. Daniil Hunter, Danico Autry, Will Anderson. They got. It's not like he's got to go do everything by himself. You can just go out there and be a really good piece and a disruptor and go along for the ride. Who's the biggest threat to Kansas City in the AFC right now, in your mind? Is Houston in the conversation?
I think Houston can be in the conversation.
Is it still Buffalo and Cincinnati?
I think Buffalo with Joe Burrow, just because that is one they've done it and I believe in it.
Buffalo, Cincinnati. I mean, people tell me the Chargers, but I hear the Chargers every year. Because Harbaugh's there now. That's going to make a difference. I mean, we're forgetting the Ravens.
Can't forget the Ravens. The Ravens, here's the thing. The Ravens should be the biggest threat.
Okay. All right. I'll listen to that. I mean, the Ravens are going to be really good. But the Texans are in the conversation, right?
Yes. That front seven.
Yes. Yes. And then they got weapons, and then they went out and got more weapons. And yes. And so he's looking at this thing and just going, damn, like that might be my bet. I'm just gonna glom on. He signed Joe Mixon. They got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. CJ Stroud's in his second year. Dalton Schultz, their tight end. They got a decent line. Their front seven's really good. Like Houston's legit.
And I like what they did with Stephon Diggs. I don't know how they did it, and they gave him a little bit more money, but to get him just on a 1-year deal, like Stephon Diggs, I think the last thing that we're going to see from him is to throw away the season getting salty, knowing that he is a free agent after this year, and if he wants at least another chance to get a somewhat meaningful contract at the end, he's got to be locked in all year long.
I think that's right. Dude, I just got, who is this? AC just sent me his betting slip. Like it's a screenshot. So he says, Jeff, I was on the 3 since early last week in the Derby. I hit the trifecta and my win place bet. So trying to add it up. What's 277 and 277? Like 550. Damn, he killed it. He won $555 on the $20 win place. Yeah, he killed it. He proved it with his ticket. Wow. I got to show you this ticket. I'll send it to you. Man cleaned up on the horse races. That's what J.J. Watt's trying to do here, going in with the Texans. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. So what happens to the Jets when Aaron's gone? Aaron Rodgers back. They're loving their latest new guy, Jordan Travis. Who is Jordan Travis? You kind of know the name, but wait, who is Jordan Travis? And why do they love him so much? Next, it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
Watching some of the stuff, Edelman going after Belichick. Edelman, and it's not clean for your rating, but Edelman going after Belichick, saying, you used to tell us, look, bleep, look. The guys down at bleeping Foxborough High can make that play. He's like, look, man, Foxborough High is the only job opening that you can get. You see Bledsoe? Bledsoe said, congratulations, you got more rings than I do. But there's 2 things that I've got, a couple things. I know what it feels like to be the number 1 overall draft pick. And you'll never know, and you'll never know that. And, celebrated my 28th wedding anniversary. I guess nothing was off limits, man.
That's not if you're doing a roast.
Yeah. They went after him pretty good. So at the end of the thing, I guess Brady said, "I'm trying to buy the Raiders. I'm tired of owning the Colts and Bills." Cute. Then he went after the Chiefs. Says, Kansas City, you say your stadium's the loudest. It helps when your fans are 14-year-old girls. In order of Tay-Tay, let's take a look at the Chiefs' eras. Terrible for 50 years, good for 5. Shake it off. Oh, cute. Very, very cute. And then he was talking about Deflategate. He says they spent nearly $21 million trying to prove that I deflated footballs in 2014. If they'd have given me the $21 million, I'd have just told them I freaking did it. I would have liked to see it. I mean, the stuff I'm looking at, the stuff I saw, the clips, pretty funny. Did you know it was on?
I heard about it. I didn't know when they were going to do it.
No, it's
dude. Tom Brady, his career arc is brilliant.
Yes, and it's not done.
Like greatest of all time to now how he's navigating these waters. Doing the roast, which still puts him at the forefront.
Yep.
The dropping little things like when he was doing that podcast.
He might come back.
Might come back maybe at the end. Like he just. knows how to stay ridiculously relevant.
Well, and he's going to be the lead analyst on Fox now. I don't know if he's going to be any good at it, but they paid him a ridiculous amount of money, and he's going to be the lead analyst on Fox. Yeah, look, and give him credit. I mean, he won 7 damn Super Bowls.
Yes.
So,
and that's why he can do things like this, right. and it matters, and people want to know what's going on, the relationship with Bill Belichick. And I thought what we're seeing this offseason is the fact that he doesn't have an NFL job. Arthur Blank. Heck, I'll even say Jerry Jones right now. You gotta be kicking themselves. Like, because what? Because he was salty in press conferences? Who cares? Because you worked with someone for, 20 years, and you might have started bumping heads at the end?
I'm trying to think what job might be open, and it's hard to sit here and say who's getting whacked after this year.
Because Robert Kraft, when you read all the stories, he talked Arthur Blank out of hiring Bill Belichick.
Well, that's stupid then.
You can't trust this guy. He's not going to be bad for your environment, yada, yada, yada. And there they are taking shots.
Where might be open next year? Buffalo? The Jets? Cleveland?
Bill Belichick in Buffalo? Josh Allen?
Yeah, and beating the Patriots? Or with the Jets. I mean, where he almost went before he went, right? I mean, he kind of accepted the job. I mean, something crazy is going to happen. Does he go back to Cleveland where he started? Tennessee just hired. I mean, Denver is stuck. Raiders just hired. Chargers, no. I mean, I don't know. McVay threatens he's retiring at 39 years old every year, or 34, or however old.
Well, just hired doesn't mean anything
if
you're willing to pay it out. Because if Tom Brady, if they
Bears
about that, what if Tom Brady gets that ownership stake
and he hires him? Not the Bears. If Eberflus doesn't win this year with all the talent they got and that young quarterback, they loaded him up, they kept him around. He's got to win this year, right? And if he doesn't, that's a spot for him. Big market. I mean, winnable division, although hard. Every division's hard right now. If you look at it sitting today, now we'll sit here in November and go, "Oh, that division's trash. Oh, the NFC South is trash." Well, we'll see. And then Dallas. And then Dallas. Yeah, and the Eagles didn't fire Sirianni, right? They kept him.
They did not fire Sirianni.
Yeah, so they may be open too. All right, who's the successor to Aaron Rodgers? So people, you heard the name Jordan Travis. You're like, I know that dude. No, he's not a country singer. Who is he? Jordan Travis is the quarterback that, and this may end up being the greatest steal in the draft. But when it's all said and done, and we look back at this 3 years from now, this might end up being the greatest steal in the draft. You're saying, how can that be? Jordan Travis was picked by the Jets in the 5th round. He's a quarterback from Florida State. He was the guy that broke his leg that basically ended Florida State's chances. They still got into the playoff, and they got beat 63-3. It was at the Sugar Bowl, right? No, it was the Orange Bowl. Florida State didn't get this. What kept Florida State out of the playoff, and they got beat in the Orange Bowl by Georgia 63-3. Jordan Travis was that quarterback. I mean, that's how influential that dude is. When he got hurt, his undefeated team didn't get into the playoffs. And so he's there. He's not cleared to play, and he's behind Aaron Rodgers. And all they do is rave about this guy, and they haven't even seen him out on the field yet. And he's taking this thing perfectly. He said, "I'm going to watch every little thing they do." And he says, "I do think about the job and being the number one guy, but right now I'm focused on where my feet are, getting healthy, getting everyone around me better, being a good teammate." Would it be something if that's their dude for the future? That's the guy who ends up taking the Jets to where they want to be after all the Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, everything. The guy they found in the 5th round because he slipped because he broke his leg may end up being the guy. He honestly, JJ, I don't think I'm going way too far out on a limb to say he might be the biggest steal of this draft.
It's not on a limit. You're looking for one of the guys outside the 1st round. Travis is fascinating. He played at a big-time level at Florida State. Good athleticism, decent thrower. I like Travis over Michael Pratt or Spencer Rattler, some of those other quarterbacks.
If he didn't
That
get
went
hurt, would
later
he
in
have
the
been a Bo Nix, Michael Penix kind of a guy?
Still don't think he would have been right there, but there's a chance. Third round quarterback could have been that next quarterback off the board on the second day.
I mean, all Dude did was win. He's not huge. He's 6'1", 212, but he's big enough to be an NFL quarterback. You listen to everything that comes out of there right now. They are in love with Jordan Travis. Now, Tyrod Taylor's their backup quarterback right now. Has Aaron Rodgers been cleared?
He is. Everything they're saying is he's on track to be able to participate in everything this summer.
What do you expect out of him?
Super Bowl, like the way people are talking with the Jets and how everything last year would have been solved. Everything.
Yeah, whatever.
And even with that, and this is why I can't quit Aaron Rodgers, is because you look at that Jets team, the disaster it was at quarterback, and they cobbled together 7 wins.
And then they thought about firing their coach, right? Bring it today at 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Email us, Jeff at sportsanimalaBQ.com. JJ at sportsanimalaBQ.com. Packers seem to love Jordan Love, but do they really love him that much? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
JJ Box.
All right, hitting Maine, hitting stride. You get a major in golf next week. You got a big one in horse racing last week. You got the playoffs. Catch the Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. Dallas and Vegas Golden Knights, the Stanley Cup champs are out. Game 7 was really good yesterday. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, on a weekend where New Mexico United was a winner at Las Vegas, 2-1. Global Baseball took 2 out of 3 over the weekend in Las Vegas. They are tied for first place with 6 games to go in the conference schedule. And, they had big crowds out at the ballpark this weekend for mariachis and for Cinco de Mayo. Isotopes lose last night 11-1. Jeff and JJ, and what you watch? What had you this weekend?
Playoffs.
Yeah.
I did.
Caught some of the Byron Nelson. I watched a lot of that.
Enjoyed me some hoops. Yeah.
Yesterday, Cleveland Orlando was actually quite intriguing, I thought. And Donovan Mitchell going bonkers. I don't know if he can make a difference. And we'll watch him against Boston. But Donovan Mitchell was the difference in the Game 7 against Orlando. Paolo Banchero is really good. But Donovan Mitchell had 50 points in Game 6, 39 in Game 7. So the 89 points that he scored in the final 2 games of the series. JJ, it's the second most in Game 6 and 7 combined in the history of the NBA. And missed by 1 point. It was Allen Iverson who scored 90 back in 2001. That's pretty impressive.
About scoring 50 points and still losing Game 6, which is what happened to the Cavs. They were down by 18 yesterday.
Banchero scored 40 last night, didn't he?
And they came back and won that game. Now, that was a fun series with Orlando. That's a legit team that you look at and go, all right, we talk about learning how to win. They did that. I think they do have potentially a high ceiling in the Eastern Conference, being able to build around Banchero and Franz Wagner. But for Cleveland, it's good job, good effort. Boston, with or without Kristaps Porzingis, is that much better.
I think they're 11.5-point favorites with the Celtics in Game 1. And minus 1,800 or something to win the series. Something bonkers like that. So if you like the Cavs, there's value there. Go buy them now. But it's going to be a tough one for you to win. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in on the playoffs or whatever it is you got coming off the weekend. The Derby. The hoops was great. The hockey was good. Whatever you like. This was interesting when I saw this come down. So it feels like the Packers really like Jordan Love. Jordan Love had a good second half of the season. And I think they really like Jordan Love. They did a deal that gave him a 2-year commitment from the Packers before last year, right? If they didn't do that, JJ, they claim they wouldn't have picked up his 5th-year option. Packers were 2-5 after 7 games. Brian Gutekunst, their general manager, at the time was asked if it'll take more than the balance of that season to determine whether or not Love is the starter moving forward. And at that point, the GM put his quarterback on notice. Quote, I hope not. I think we got 10 games left. I think it's going to be a very important 10 games. So, JJ, the crazy part, without the contract that he had gotten, would have he even gotten those 10 games, do you think?
I like this story so much because it highlights how broken quarterback development is.
Yes.
It's like they drafted and waited, and still halfway through the first season,
We're going to give them 7 games.
They were losing at that point in time. But they were still, everyone was ready to cut bait. But the Packers, with what they did and kind of re-signing Jordan Love to that kind of 2-year deal, not only did it give him a little bit of leeway, it put them said, all right, we kind of have to go through this. We have to see this out, give this quarterback more than 8 weeks in an NFL season, because that's a problem in the NFL right now. Is you, for even rookie quarterbacks on bad teams, you go through 9 weeks and you're like, oh, I don't think this guy's got it. I don't know how we're supposed to ever develop or build around him.
He's 2-5.
Like, yes, some of the dudes you see it. Maybe it's not there, but when you have young quarterbacks on bad football teams and everyone is just so willing to pull the trigger. Now, that's not this case. The Packers weren't a bad team, but it's still, well, you didn't go out there. You're not 5-2 after the first time ever being a starting quarterback. You got to throw you away.
It's 100% what's wrong with development. They don't do it anymore. They flat out don't do it anymore. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Dan.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody today?
Good, Daniel. What's happening?
I got 3 things on the weekend. Number one, 90% of the people at the track that didn't realize that they couldn't bet on the Derby this year.
People are pissed, huh?
And that freaked a lot of people out over there for sure. Let me tell you, there was a lot of buzz.
Yep. I'll bet they were pissed. Yep.
What's that?
I'll bet they were pissed.
Yeah, it was a lot of confusion, a lot of pissed off people. And then Denver losing that first game, that was kind of a surprise. They looked a little bit worn out to me. But, boy, Donovan Mitchell, he promised that team a deep run into the playoffs, and he might be keeping his promise. That guy is something else, man. I didn't think I would have any fun watching that game, and let me tell you, I was on the edge of my seat again. So the NBA has been fantastic, man. I'm really having a good time with it. You guys have a great week this week.
You too. See you, man. Donovan Mitchell has been really good. Yeah, I assume there would be people that just go out there every year and just go to the track, because it's what people do. I mean, it's just like you bet horses once a year and you go to the track and that's your big thing. And didn't watch the news, whatever. I'm going to guess it was a mess out there. People want to do it. I thought, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can tell me, I think you could have gone down to Isleta. Bet MGM you could have bet. It was something like with the pari-mutuel betting, and it was the New Mexico Racing Commission and the whatever the commission, the acronym is, out of Kentucky. They were having a problem. They couldn't figure things out. And that's where they were. And that's why, for whatever reason, you couldn't bet. But yeah, it was a problem. And people were pissed. And if you were one of them, I'd love to hear your story. Did you get your bet down? Did you race out to one of the casinos and watch it there? Did you go down to Isleta and watch it there? Like, how did you do it? I'm kind of curious. 505-246-0610 is how you get here. 888-922-0610. I got a bunch of emails that came in this morning. And you can hit me, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Sid's upset with the Isotopes. On the Dukes, Mr. Symbieta, I don't think a PCL club has ever lost 100 games in a season before, but right now the Dukes are on pace to get there. Can they do it? It's going to take a tremendous effort, but I have no doubt that a honcho at the Rockies organization, they're going to battle like crazy all summer to get there. I didn't even look at the standings. Where the Rockies? How bad are the Rockies? Like, are they the worst? The other day they were the second worst team in baseball. They are 8-26, so they're now tied with the White Sox for the worst team in baseball, and they're not that much better at the AAA level. In fact, you could say they're just as bad. How long do you think the whole franchise before it turns around? I mean, JJ, it's May 6th. We're just over a month into the season. They're 14 games back.
They were 7 games back before the season even started.
I know you said that. On opening day, you said they're 7 games back. They're done. So you just got to go out to the ballpark to go see the opposition, and their run differential is -77. The opposition has scored 77 more runs than them in 34 games. That's insanity. They're 3-16 away from Coors Field. And so then you say, okay, well, but are they any better at the minor league level? And they're not. And, I mean, I don't know. Do you, Isotopes are still leading the minor league baseball in attendance. So I don't know that I think people care that much. Here there's Sid and there's Gene, and they do. But I don't know that I think people care that much. Do you? People are still going out to the ballpark. I went out last night. I had a good time. And
you don't care if they win or lose. You don't.
But
would you like to see them win if you're just a sports fan at a game? Yes.
They're 9-24. So the big club is 8-26, and the minor league AAA club is 9-24. They're run different. You know what the Isotopes run differential is? Take a guess. In 33 games. You've seen the scores?
Minus 93.
94. That's a great guess. No, that's incredible. They've given up 94 more runs than they have scored in 33 games. I mean, it's
pitching is always going to be a problem. But if you look at the Rockies organization right now, any of the pitchers they have hope for are dudes in rookie ball. So it's going to be a while.
So it's 3 years away. 2 years, at least 2. And they're not going to rush him, I don't think. No. So what do they even have prospects to trade? Like trade deadline. Who are the Rockies getting?
No one.
Point. Where's it coming from? Yeah, no, Sid, I get it, man. It was yeah, it's tough. Dan says the year of Dan, Jeffrey and Juan Jose. A couple of weeks ago, we saw Dan win the NCAA tournament, Dan Hurley. And now the first leg of the Triple Crown, Mystic Dan. 2024 is off to a great start. All right, fair enough. They got a Dan in the NBA?
Dan Gilbert, owner of the Cavaliers.
Ooh, is that what you're going to ride? Okay. Hey, what if they beat the Celtics? I'm riding. All right, Dan called it first. Gopher says, sitting it out. Jeff, the word is Mystic Dan is tired and might not play in the Preakness. Reminds me of guys sitting out bowl games. Why has this suddenly become an epidemic? You never heard of this from young, healthy athletes before. Yeah, you've heard about this in horse racing for years. It isn't a given that the horse is going to run in the next race. Carl's on the transfer portal. Jeff, remember that huge Derby field we spent a week hyping? We didn't spend a week hyping. I'm not sure who we are. You might have. I'm not sure who we is. Some are being load managed and might not play in the Belmont. But most have entered the transfer portal seeking opportunities elsewhere. Bob Baffert will be back, and I think he'll be on Scorched Earth Tour after Pimlico, or at Pimlico. Otherwise, all new faces of the Preakness. I don't know, man. If you're Mystic Dan, you own Mystic Dan, don't you got to kind of take a shot at the Triple Crown? I don't want to hurt my horse. I'm going to listen to my trainer. If he tells me it's too quick to get him back, but man, I don't know. All right, who's going to coach the Lakers? LeBron's coaching carousel. 9 coaches? If you're a head coach and there's only 32 of those jobs, do you want that job?
Yes.
Because there's only 30.
So that's one of those questions. Like there's very few people that could say no.
All right, so let's have this conversation when we come back. So you're JJ Redick, Mike Budenholzer, one of these guys who are interviewing for multiple jobs, right? Redick is interviewing for a couple others, right? Do you want the Lakers or you want something else? Knowing the track history. You say, I'm the guy who's going to survive, or maybe I want to go do something. It's the opening drive. We'll have that discussion next. On 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk.
Yeah, they won one pretty quick. But they didn't win one quick enough, right? For most people. Remember when they lost to Dallas?
But I mean, I'm talking about why Miami would believe in kind of what they've established. Pat is, they're not, because they weren't like a hungry, like, Cavs, yeah, we're going to do whatever you want. LeBron, I get it.
Yeah, they'd won before. If that was today, so let's say LeBron went there today at 39 years old and who he is today, and Eric Spoelstra was coming up where he was then. So we're talking, what is that, 15 years ago? Maybe even more, right? Would Spoelstra have survived LeBron James now? If LeBron put pressure on ownership at now, who he is now, and he was still it then, man. But it was still kind of more Dwayne Wade's team at that point. That was Dwayne Wade's team, right?
No, it wasn't.
You don't think so?
The hoopla, LeBron James.
No, I get the hoopla around LeBron James going.
LeBron James was that dude.
But Dwayne Wade was the veteran who had been there, who had already won a championship there. It was still kind of his. He was the veteran. There's no doubt who the superstar was, but kind of whose team was it in the locker room? The way you hear it, it was Dwayne Wade's team. That's how LeBron was growing up. But all right, I'm down. Either way, I just wonder, would he have survived now? Spoelstra. I don't know that I think is, but because he had the backing then. Maybe. I mean, Eric Spoelstra is now, if you look around the NBA, as respected of a coach as there is in the last 20 years, right? And he's a classic example. You can win when you got a really good roster, and you can't win when you don't. It's really that simple. So who takes that job? Who takes the Lakers job? Mike Budenholzer, I think, is a good coach. It just doesn't feel like, I don't know. Whoever LeBron wants is going to get that job, right? And him and JJ Redick are buddies.
And I do think that, JJ Redick is a really interesting candidate because we see it a lot in baseball when they've gotten a lot of, the first time manager route players that are just a couple years out of the game go manage it. And I think for Redick, it's blending the real life experience. Been there, done that in the NBA with some of the new school mentality when it comes to just kind of analytics and roster building and style of play. I don't hate it at all if I'm the Lakers.
Yeah, I think they can do worse than that too. I don't either. I really don't. And it feels like he's super respected. Relatively new school, and
because when you look at this, I want to throw this out there. Yeah. It's one where when you watch LeBron right now and realizing that as good as he's playing, some of the deficiencies, it's not about the coach. It's about him. Like if this was even say 5 years ago, I think the Lakers, that's 7-game series with a different LeBron James. Because I think he absolutely does dominate entire second halves of basketball games. Can beat.
Do you think they beat the Nuggets?
Like, I think it is a different storyline. Yeah. And so when you're looking at it like that, I'm not thinking that a coach needs to come in there and hold LeBron James accountable or change something dramatically. So that's why I think JJ Redick could work, where it doesn't have to be this giant established figure, because LeBron needs some attitude adjustment at this point in time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I know it'll be interesting. How quick this week, right? Probably this week. And then what do they do? JJ Redick goes in there. Let's just say, looks at that roster, finds himself a shooter, figure out what they're. New voice. I don't think Darvin Ham did that bad of a job. Does Darvin Ham get another job? Or is he an assistant somewhere?
It's one where you just have to say, all right, is there any more teams going to make a move?
Well,
now, it feels like,
are the Clippers?
The Clippers are going to extend Ty Lue.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially if there's hints that the Lakers somehow want to get him. Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, is not going to let Ty Lue go to the Lakers.
Okay. I don't see a lot of places. Phoenix, maybe. Phoenix is interesting. It's not Darvin Ham interesting, but it's interesting. Would it surprise you if today or next Thursday or any day that guy just
fire
comes out?
Vogel?
Yeah.
No.
Hardly, right? Whenever he gets around to having these conversations, because he came out the other day and said, yeah, we're great. 26 out of 29 other teams love our roster. We're in a great spot. And Frank did great things. So did I. I did great things too. Really? I'm just, with all due respect, just not buying. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. What your thoughts on it? On the coaching, Laker fan, you're there. I mean, you're everywhere. You are flat out everywhere. So, should they? Did they make the right move? Who do you want to see as your head coach? When we come back, how does just flat out speed turn into football speed? Chiefs went out and got themselves a speedster. How does he turn into a football player? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal. Get it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety.
Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Nuggets at home, trailing 1-0 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 2 of the Western Conference semifinals. Kind of got a win game?
Kind of got a win game.
I mean, hard to say must win at game 2, but kind of got a win game.
Yeah. If you want to believe Denver can still be that team, it's not a must-win game, but I closer to that than kind of got to win.
Yeah. Closer to must than kind of gotta.
Yeah. I like Minnesota this much. Defense, offense, having that dude Anthony Edwards that has that mentality that nothing is going to stop him.
All right. Hockey tonight. This is an intriguing one if you're into this. Boston and Florida, game 1. If you recall last year, Boston went into the playoffs with the best regular season ever. They had more points in a regular season than anybody had ever had. And Florida, who had to make the playoffs in the last game of the season, beat them. And Florida went on that run to the Stanley Cup final where they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights. So you get a little rematch, and I will take Boston in 5 because I think that's where that goes. I think that's nuts. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Lenny, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Lenny.
Morning. Let's, if you don't mind, do a little breakdown for the Knicks Pacers tonight.
Yeah, go.
Okay, Pacers beat them in the season 2-1, but in 3 of those games, they were out Randall in 1, and the other 2 they out Robinson and Hartenstein.
Okay.
So in the series, pace of play, Indiana is one of the tops in the league. Knicks is one of the worst.
Slow.
Then you have Therese Halliburton, one of the best point guards in the league, and between him and Miles Turner has one of the best pick and rolls in the league. So pace and play, offense favors Indiana. Knicks intangibles, their offense and defensive rebounding favors them. And I think with their hounding defense and the play of Brunson, they'll take the series in 7.
Knicks in 7. I'm looking at the seats tonight, by the way. The cheapest seats all the way up at the 400 level are like $283.
283 is really not that bad for a semifinal.
Cheapest seats all the way upstairs. If you want decent seats, like in the mid level, you're $488 in the end zones.
Yeah, but that's in New York.
Yeah,
that's actually relatively cheap.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, but it should be a good series. Unless somebody steals a game at home, it'll go 7. And then on the other side, Cleveland and Boston. If Cleveland can get back Jared Allen, don't be surprised because Porzingis is out if Cleveland pulls an upset.
An upset in the series or an upset and wins a game?
Series.
Okay, I'll be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they're competitive. I'd be surprised if they win the series.
That 2-man game works for them, and Porzingis was a key for them this season.
Yeah, he was. He was really good for them.
So I hope he does come back. I'd like to see everyone healthy for it, but at least we're getting some good games, and I think Minnesota is going to pull the upset over Denver.
I wonder how much of an upset it really is at this point. But yeah,
it's not an upset, but you just look at
the seeding.
Their experience in Denver and what you have in Minnesota. But that coach is getting Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns to work real well together, and then Anthony Edwards is in just another zone altogether.
All right, man. Good to hear you. Enjoy the
Thanks.
Knicks.
Have a good one.
See you. So he says, "Don't be surprised." I would be surprised in any scenario where Jason Tatum stays healthy and health. I mean, they got everybody playing really well right now. That the Celtics lose that series.
Yes. Even if Jarrett Allen is out there, right? If Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, 2 really long, good defenders, and they put a challenge on it, but they're not, offensive go-to guys. And so the challenge is going to be, all right, you have, can Mobley hang with Jason Tatum? That's an interesting battle. Allen isn't going to guard Drew Holiday or Jaylen Brown.
Yep. I like the Cavs. I like watching them. I like what they just did to the Magicians. I think they can win a game or 2. I think they push them a little bit. I don't think it's easy. I like 11.5 in game 1.
The challenge for Cleveland is they can't control the tempo for 4 games. Or maybe there's one game where the Celtics, they shoot a ton of threes, and they miss.
And that's how they lost to Miami that one game.
That's what's going to happen. Then it's going to be a close game. It's going to slow it down. But there's so much offensive firepower.
Yeah.
with Boston. That's how they're going to pull away in the series.
How do you determine football speed from just speed? Remember Deshaun Jackson came out of Cal. Give me a couple words. How was his career in the NFL?
Electric.
All right. He was like really good, right? Not great. I think he disappointed towards the back end. So the Chiefs went out and drafted Xavier Worthy in the first round. Speedster. And Andy Reid said that his body type is more like Deshaun Jackson. And Worthy said that watching Deshaun Jackson left him feeling confident. 169 pounds won't hurt his chances of being good in the NFL. Quote, I weighed in at 169. I don't think I took big hits. I delivered them. I feel like it's not going to be a problem. I feel like just understanding your strengths and your weaknesses. I feel like that's the big issue in the league. Don't try to go hit a 250-pound linebacker. Just understanding your strengths. Like I said, D-Jack came into the league at 169 and understood his strengths. So just use your strengths to your strength. That was his quote. Don't get hit. Don't send me over the middle. Send me down the side.
Yeah,
right?
D-Jax was the ultimate vertical threat.
Right.
With his game. And I like this from Andy Reid because it never made sense to me just because he was fast that Xavier Worthy is going to be the Tyreek Hill role. That's not the way he plays. And, Tyreek Hill is a lot more sturdy overall than Xavier Worthy is. And I don't think you're going to be looking at Xavier Worthy as like a 100-catch wide receiver. I think you're going to be looking at him as, 60, but the yards per catch is going to be crazy because he'll get some of those short screen plays, but then they're going to send him over the top. And Andy Reid is that dude for a reason because that is a much better comparison than anyone else was trying to throw out there about Xavier.
Well, they're going to get him in space, right? They're going to, to your point, it's going to be on screens, over the top because you figure he's going to be able to outrun a corner, and will there be over the top help with the safety? And that's what you got. If he can catch the football, he's going to take a hit at some point. Tyreek Hill takes hits. Deshaun Jackson took hits. But if you minimize what he does, he's not going over the middle and getting laid out like Julian Edelman. Right?
And what is interesting too is that football speed question. It's what happened. So KC trades up to 28 with Buffalo. Buffalo drops back, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, how could you let Kansas City get Xavier Worthy? He's just so fast." But then Buffalo gets Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman is a dude that I really like. I think, not only just as a football player, but like fantasy perspective, like this dude needs to be on your radar this season because he's that guy with football speed. He doesn't have the outrageous 40-yard dash, but 6'3", like 215 pounds with pads on. He's fast, makes big time plays, and that's kind of the dynamic you see within those 4 picks, right there with those 2 teams.
Speed kills, man. Speed is legitimate, and you watch it all the time. I mean, you need to be physical up front, and that's the number one. But man, you get speed on the outside. You get speed on the inside, for that matter. But I mean, speed everywhere is what they're looking for. Why do you think they do these things where you get in your underwear and they time you right on the 40? They time you going through all these drills. Well, I mean, there's a reason for all that, right? Now, do I think maybe they put too much emphasis on what they see at the combine? Yeah, I probably do. But
I think with wide receivers they do. That's why I wasn't gushing over Xavier Worthy.
But they obviously like what they saw with him with the football on tape. They obviously like what they saw of the football.
Remember the last dude that broke the 40-yard dash time as a wide receiver?
Who was that?
John Ross.
Yeah, dude. He got drafted by the Bengals late in the first round, right?
No, he was a top 10 pick.
Was he a top 10 pick?
So it's a little different when you got at the end of the first round. Yeah. But that's why I think it's a fascinating question of football speed. There's track guys, but then you put pads on them, and how's it translating?
All right, 505-246-0610. I want to hear from you today, and you can send emails. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. The Sports Animal phone line and text line is the same at 505-246-0610. All right, when we come back, so you know all about what the Falcons did. They got Michael Penix Jr., but they already had the commitment to Kirk Cousins. And do they have an out? Evidently, maybe they do if they want an out. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico, I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most.
610, the Sports Animal.
So Kirk Cousins has to pass a physical. A source with knowledge of the terms of his deal says that his $50 million signing requires passing of a physical, but specifically excludes, does not include that pre-existing Achilles injury. I want to get into this here in a little bit. 505-246-0610. That might be the Falcons out. 505-246-0610. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. Big weekend in sports, but, I didn't get a chance to call last week and talk about the closing of the portal and the shakeout. So there's, 2,000 now players looking for a home?
North of that.
Or so?
Yep, north of that.
And you're looking at programs and how they're adjusting to this NIL. And, for instance, you see guys that don't have NIL money going for NAIA players. Have you noticed that? There's a pecking order that seems to be occurring. Colorado State goes after NIA player of the year because they probably can't afford to go get a D1 guy out of the transfer portal.
They had success with it too. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So schools are, I guess, starting to find their levels where they're going to compete for players at. And if you're out there and you care about Lobo basketball, I'm going to say it again, go to 505sports.org and join. That's what's going to keep UNM competitive and at the top of the Mountain West.
I guess the number was just south of 2,000. So, just under 2,000 players enter the portal for the 2024 cycle. So let me play with a number. Let's just say 1950. I don't even know exactly. Divided by 355 schools is 5.5 players per roster got into the portal. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's astounding, and I don't know if you're going to see that going forward. We'll see how that works out, but it's pretty interesting. So the Lobo baseball team, man, they're hitting the ball. I watched that game on the internet yesterday, and I was just amazed at the seventh inning. Everything with 2 outs, just kept hitting the ball.
They had, I believe, 10 straight 2-out hits to beat UNLV yesterday.
Yeah, and 10 run them. So they're looking pretty good. They tied for first place in the conference. Go Lobos. I love college baseball. It's a good time.
So you get
Out
the
of the field.
Aggies tomorrow, and then 6 more. They get Nevada at home for 3, and then on the road to San Jose State for 3 before the conference tournament, assuming they finish in the top 4.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yep. All right, man.
Appreciate the time, guys.
Later. Yeah, JJ, just under is what I'm seeing is the final number. 2,000 players. And so if you figure 5.5 players per roster, plus you lose 2 to 5 seniors, right? Each roster on the average is turning over 7 to 9 players a year. And I don't know, we spent hours on this. That's just college basketball. That's how it is.
And then plus incoming freshmen trying to find a place to play.
Yeah, how many JT Toppins are there, right? But honestly, where are those guys getting time, where are they getting their chance? No, this is just how it is. And, I know people lose their mind every time you lose somebody, but I will go back to this, and this doesn't soften the blow on losing JT Toppins. But I firmly believe that UNM has benefited more than they have lost in the portal, right?
But as you get better,
that's right.
Then you're going to lose better pieces too.
That's it, because you got better pieces to lose. All right, big news in the NBA this morning. We'll get you that when we come back and get more into that Falcons out clause. How can they, if they want to, cut ties with Kirk Cousins and let Michael Penix play? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more,
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called
to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Rob in the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Mexico's Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
All right, next round of hoops is all set. You had a big weekend, a derby. Finish at the derby. Even if you don't like horse racing, I mean, it's something where you just go, holy smokes. They run that long, and those three horses were literally nose to nose to nose at the tape. Or at the mirror at the finish line. That was fun. Mystic Dan wins the Kentucky Derby over the weekend. Also over the weekend, Denver Nuggets dropped the first game of the Western Conference semifinals. They lose at home to Minnesota 106-99. Dallas beats the Clippers game 7 of the first round in the West. So it'll be Dallas moving on to play Oklahoma City. And the Cavaliers beat the Magicians 106-94 game 7. So Cleveland moves on to play Boston. Around here, Lowell baseball took 2 out of 3 in UNLV. They are in first place, tied with Fresno State in the Mountain West Conference. 6 games left in the conference schedule. Lobos are home tomorrow against New Mexico State. And then they play 3 with Nevada out at Santa Ana Starfield this weekend before finishing the regular season in San Jose with 3. And New Mexico United on the road. JJ, they win again. 6 out of 8 on the road, and another good win for United. They jump out 2-0 and hold on for a 2-1 victory, and another road win for them. They're off to a tremendous start. They've got the Open Cup and an MLS team coming to town this week.
Wednesday night.
It's a big deal.
Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, it's the
coming to town. First time.
First time an MLS team has come here. What kind of crowd do you think? Because this is one where season tickets don't cover you, so everybody's got to rebuy tickets.
I think it's to be a very strong crowd. I believe it would, even on Wednesday night, approach 10,000.
Yep.
With an MLS team coming to town, understanding how important the Open Cup has been to this franchise.
I think it's the most important thing that ever happened to it.
The realization that I think their fan base knows it, but I think what people are going to understand is MLS teams are trying to pull out of this. So MLS is trying to just have their academy teams or anything along those lines play in the Open Cup.
And they don't play their full rosters, do they?
Not early, usually. But they're trying to back out of the Open Cup because, they have the CONCACAF stuff going on. They have the other tournaments. So, they've expanded themselves so much that this kind of traditional, hey, this is what makes the sport so fun because they do it everywhere else and it works. Major League Soccer is like, well, we don't want to be a part of this anymore. So this could be the last opportunity you ever have to have a full MLS team in your venue for an Open.
All right, so Real Salt Lake, the team they're playing, is in first place in the West in MLS. 21 points. They're just ahead of Minnesota and the Galaxy in Vancouver, in Colorado. What version of that team will come out? Because, I hear it Thursday morning. I hear relegate us. Or relegate us. What's the opposite? Elevate us.
Promote.
Thank you. I already hear it. If United beats Real Salt Lake, they just beat we could win MLS. We beat the number one team in the West. What version of that team will we see? Real Salt Lake.
On a watered down version, but they're not like they can't necessarily flip their entire roster.
So it would be pretty impressive to win. I firmly believe, and what year was it? 18, 19. So it was. I firmly believe the best thing that ever happened to this franchise, and all these years later, still, was that run to the quarterfinals of the Open Cup where they beat Minnesota and lost to Dallas, beat an MLS team and then lost to another one. Because it got people around here. At first, it was the introduction. And people didn't understand necessarily what was happening. They just realized, holy smokes, we're beating some of the biggest names in the sport and some of the major league teams in the sport. And we are that good, and I want to jump on board. And I think people are still on board. I think they're still riding the momentum from it. You think I'm wrong?
No. I think it was, as you touched on, it was something that helped legitimize what they were doing.
No. Yeah, I think it was the best thing that ever happened to him. So that'll be big this week. And I think the hype will really start to build up, over the next couple of days. And if you're going, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this something, and is this one of those where maybe you don't go to see a United match, but because you've got an MLS team, are you going to go more? Now, I think non-soccer fan or peripheral, whatever. But those of you who are into this, if soccer's your thing and you watch MLS, I mean, you're realizing here's a team that's leading the West, at least in some version, they're coming into your place. Are you more inclined to go out on Wednesday night this week than you would be if they were playing the Las Vegas Lions or Orange County FC? And I think you are. I think this is kind of a pretty big deal for you. And I would think people are going to want to go out and see that. But I want your thoughts. Are you going out? Is this, or are you just hearing about it for the first time? Are they playing who? Real what? So Salt Lake, that's a big deal. Real Salt Lake is who? Yeah. It's U.S. Open Cup, and it's and United's playing really, really well. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Jeff, earlier you said people couldn't bet the Derby. Why is that? So you could bet the Derby, you just couldn't bet the Derby at the racetracks in New Mexico like you have in the past. And I think people got caught off guard by that. I think there's a tradition around here where people go out to the Downs or Sunland Park or whichever track is nearby, Ruidoso Downs, and they put on hats and they drink mint juleps and they expect that they can bet the Derby at those tracks because you always have. But there's some sort of, and I don't pretend I understand the intricacies of it. There is some sort of a disagreement currently with the New Mexico Racing Commission and the body in Kentucky that regulates these. And it's some sort of parimutuel betting issue. I don't know what the issue is. All I know is that you could not go out to the track. Now, I do believe you can go to the casinos like at Isleta and bet MGM Bets, and you could bet the Derby. And in fact, as we get closer to the Preakness and the Belmont, I'll call Carl and see if he wants to come on over at Isleta and make sure that he knows you can go out, or that you can go out there and bet at Isleta. But yeah, that's why that worked out. All right, I'm going to get into this Kirk Cousins thing. JJ, the most baffling thing in the draft, the NFL draft, was Atlanta choosing Michael Penix Jr. at 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. They have Kirk Cousins. 4 years, $180 million, $90 million guaranteed. So evidently there's a $50 million signing bonus for Kirk Cousins that requires him to pass a physical. Now that physical specifically excludes the pre-existing Achilles. Quote, provided player continues to rehabilitate such pre-existing right Achilles injury as required by and under the supervision and direction of club's head team physician and club's head athletic trainer, end quote. That's the clause. So as long as Kirk Cousins does what the team doctor and the head athletic trainer tell him to do regarding the Achilles, the Falcons are on the hook for $50 million. But of course, that does not force the Falcons and Cousins together indefinitely. So with only $27.5 million in salary, I think it's funny we could say only $27.5 million in salary in 2025, would it be hard for them to find somewhere to trade? If both sides decide to make a clean break after one season, he's got a no trade. So they still would have paid him $62.5 million for one season. But if he's traded in 2025, a trade after 2025, before June 1 of 2026, would result in a smaller cap hit. Under that scenario, Falcons would have paid him $90 million for two. JJ, their out is they trade him and they pay most of his deal, or at least a big chunk.
This one, if all goes well, you're winning football games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
you're not worried.
The main thing, and you're not worried. And if it's 2 years and it ended up being 2 years of winning football, maybe a playoff win in there for Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, they tip your cap and say, well, here's your $90 million. Now we have Michael Penix Jr. for the next however long. It's still a deal that I don't like overall. And if Penix ends up winning a lot of football games, then we can all look back and say how wrong we were about it. It just feels like for the Falcons in all of this, it's almost doing too much. As much as we talk about having to have answers at the quarterback position, they do have answers now. But one of these isn't going to work out. And I'm saying either Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, like immediately coming off the Achilles injury, someone's not going to look right. It can't be possible, right? Like it just.
I mean, the odds will tell you, right? We've never seen it before. The odds will tell you you're right.
But still, if you do just take a step back and say, hey, it's 2 years of quarterback play for $45 million, that's kind of going right.
I mean, in
what
fact,
you believe
it's
is a good starting quarterback.
Yeah. But that's how they get out. That is how they get out of it. All right, coming up next, there was a signing in the NBA today. There's a lot of coaching noise, and there was a lot of noise around this particular coach, but he's not going where he's rumored. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend. Travis Kelce from Patrick Mahomes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. I can show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I got caught up in work on Friday, and so kind of missed this one, and then it hit me midday, and there was all kinds of talk. Where are they going? Who's their coach? And Jason Kidd's name really came up a lot. 51 years old. He is finishing up his third season with the Mavericks. He led the team to the Southwest Division title 2 of his 3 seasons there. He's coached them to 50-plus wins and playoff series wins. They got to the conference finals in 2022. And so today, Mark Cuban and the Mavericks basically put an end to the talk of him going to the Lakers. Jason Kidd signed a multi-year contract extension with the Mavs. They haven't released the terms, but I'm sure he's well compensated. It comes just days after, like Dave McMenamin of ESPN, who follows the Lakers, and a lot of other people, had Kidd as kind of the leader for this job. I think it's a great move for the Mavericks. I've actually always liked him as a coach. I like his demeanor. I like what he gets out of him. Bottom line is he's got Kyrie Irving playing well, and playing under control and playing consistently and making more headlines for what he's doing on the floor. To me, that's a big plus to begin with.
It's a huge plus. And this is, the balance of coaching in the NBA, because I do think there's multiple ways to get it done. I do think that there's plenty of good X's and O's coaches, because you still have to develop a rotation, or at least use the rotation, have decent plans for how your star players are going to play. And then sometimes it's more of on the side of just making sure things stay in the same lane. And a lot of that is what you do is understanding, all right, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, this works. Now let's keep these guys locked in and focused because they're stars with egos. And then the rotation around those players, because there's not like a third wheel on Dallas that you know for sure. It's Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and then it's one of those teams that you're just like, who's playing there? And that's a credit to what Jason Kidd has got out of these players and out of this rotation with what he's been able to do. And he learned, kind of took his bumps in Milwaukee, other places he's been, and he's been really good in Dallas.
Got a lot better. So the Lakers search continues. There's a lot of J.J. Redick talk, Mike Budenholzer. We'll see where they go. This will be LeBron James' 4th coach since he got to the Lakers 2018-2019 season. So that's 6 seasons, I believe. Is that a stain on him, or is it just not? Is that just a foot? He'll have 10. This will be his 10th coach in the NBA in 20 seasons.
I don't know if I'd call it a stain, but it's kind of just a part of the story.
Okay.
Like, LeBron likes to roll through coaches.
I mean, David Blatt, right? Remember that guy?
Mm-hmm.
How many can you name? David Blatt, Tyrone Lue, Eric Spoelstra, Darvin Ham, Frank Vogel, Luke Walton. Was Luke Walton there when he first got there? He was already gone? I mean, who were the four coaches? Who were the other three? Luke Walton. Who were the three coaches of the Lakers? Who was before Vogel?
There's no Mike Brown in there with Cleveland.
Mike Brown with Cleveland, yeah. Yep. I lost count now. Who was the coach before Frank Vogel? Lakers had another guy in there. So it'll be four with the Lakers. It'll be Vogel, whoever the new guy is, and Darvin Ham. There was somebody before them. You said Mike Brown, Ty Lue, Eric Spoelstra, David Blatt. Man, I can't. And Mike Brown would be 8. No. Man, I can't even tell you who the other two are. Who was the coach when he went back to Cleveland? And they won.
Not Ty Lue?
Was it Ty Lue? He was the coach the first time when they won with Kyrie, right?
Oh, Luke Walton was the coach for him.
It was Luke
Correct.
Walton,
Yep.
right? It was Luke Walton, the first one there. Yeah, so will this make any mark? And I'm not telling you I think it should. You're going to tell me the great ones. Well, Kobe played they had great coaches, man. Both Kobe and Mike had Phil Jackson for a long, long time. Should that even be part of the conversation? Does it hurt his chances at the GOAT case? Does it?
No.
Okay.
It's a part of the conversation, but I don't think it changes where he is as a basketball player in that conversation.
Yeah. Yep. I wonder. It interests me the conversation how important is a coach, because we just sat here and had a conversation about Jason Kidd, and one of the things that we really like about him, not only does he win, but somehow he seems to have righted the Kyrie Irving ship, right? Where nobody else could. When he was with LeBron, he was young in Cleveland, but then he went to Boston, he went to Brooklyn, and it just didn't work. And now he's in Dallas, and it looks like he's focused, he's balling, he's in a place playing for a dude that makes sense. He's saying great things about him. How much does a coach matter? And I guess it depends on the situation, right? Because it seems like it mattered there. Would a different coach have gotten more out of this Laker team? And that's what the Laker front office seems to think. Would a different coach have gotten through, won some of those close games? They lost 8 out of 9 in the playoffs over the last 2 years to Denver, and most of them were really close.
And that's the question I see asked by a lot of people who brought up is if Eric Spoelstra is coaching the Lakers, is this a different outcome?
Is it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I think so.
Like when you say, all right, if Eric Spoelstra could be the best coach right now in the NBA.
Yep. Does Eric Spoelstra make those shots that D'Angelo Russell missed? Does he not turn the ball over? Does he maybe sit LeBron so he's fresher in the fourth quarter? Or is LeBron subs himself in and out, dude? You ever watch a game? The coach isn't telling LeBron when to come in and out. He subs himself in and out. He knows when he's sitting. He knows when he's out. It's the same time. Remember we talked the other day about how you make way more than your boss. You have the control. If you're the star, right? Coaches make more than the ADs. The AD probably makes more than the president. Who's really the boss here? Players make more than the coaches. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference would a different coach make? We're going to find out, because we keep finding out. Because we found out after Frank Vogel to Darvin Ham. They went out in the first round again this year. They were a play-in team again this year. Here's the deal. Let me ask you this. Would a different coach get them in a different spot? Would they be in the damn play-in every year with that roster? I think that's a question I'm having, or a conversation I'm having. Don't you think? Why are we limping through 6 months of a season from November to April and struggling every year to make the damn play-in tournament, happen to get in the play-in and play one of the best teams in the first round? Now, in the West, I don't know. Is it better if you're in the 4-5 matchup? Would they have fared better against the Dallas Mavericks or the Clippers? You know what the answer is? Yes. Yes. And then maybe they get Oklahoma City now, and that'd be really interesting. So that's the conversation. If you want to talk to me about the difference a coach makes, all right, is Jason Kidd better than Darvin Ham there? Is J.J. Redick going to win me more games in freaking December and January that is going to set me up and help me here?
And this is a year that there's no excuses when you have Anthony Davis playing 76 games, LeBron James playing 71 regular season games.
Well, and the other part of that, JJ, is if they were in a position where they weren't having to play for their play-in lives, then maybe they could have rested AD and LeBron down the stretch. If they win 5, 6, 7 more games in November, December, January, February, then they're sitting in a 3, 4, 5 spot, and they can rest some of these guys because they're going to play them 45 minutes a game in the playoffs. And maybe, to your point, LeBron doesn't look like he did in the fourth quarter. Is that the answer? Is that why I'm looking at a different coach?
That's part of it. Because, too, you're looking and say, all right, you have, even if it was reduced minutes in those regular season games, Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell can't get you 2-3 more victories in the regular season.
I mean, come on. The way you pay those guys? Honestly. No, they should be. So is it all on the coach? And we've had this conversation a zillion times at the NBA level. How important is the coach? And the Lakers seem to think really important, or at least LeBron does, because it's where they're going. And they're changing again. But at some point, I don't know, the season's so long. Do you think if you're that club, you got to put a little bit more emphasis on winning some games in January, December? So you're not limping down the stretch and just trying to get through the play-in?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, the retort to that would be they got to the conference finals last year through the play-in.
They did.
They got swept because they were spent. They got beat by a better team. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Like this was, a Lakers team too. They were 27-32 before kind of kicking it back into gear in February.
I mean, that's kind of my point, isn't it? Why? And it's not like they were without Anthony Davis early or without LeBron James early. They were all there. You go on the road and lose to the Wizards on a Tuesday night in December. Why? Wizards are horrible. I mean, I get it. Kenny talks about this all the time. Kenny Thomas played a long time in the NBA. And it's hard to focus for 82 games in 6 months every time you're going out and you're playing a bad team and you're on the road. It's Tuesday night in some cold town. But that's part of being professional, isn't it? And it all comes down to then, oh, look at that. We're 3 games out of 5th place. Would have been a whole different world, I think. We'd have a whole different conversation about the Lakers if you start thinking about it in November. Maybe that's why they're looking for a new head coach. 505-246-0610. Laker fan, who do you want on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal?
Get ready to step into the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Cell service. Download the KNML app in the Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
Tom Brady was roasted last night. It's actually a pretty good production. They did it at the Forum in LA. Was there a reason for this? They call it the greatest roast of all time. Was this just to laugh at him and Netflix put it on and people buy it and it'll be good content? I mean, somebody had to make money on this. Was it a
yes
fundraiser?
To all the above.
Was it a charity thing?
It's Tom Brady is still in the limelight.
Well,
you're coming off of just ending the Patriots era with Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. You had the Apple TV documentary. And so I think it just all kind of ties together.
Brady just sit there and took it. He said it's like a football game. You run with a game plan. And then you get to see kind of how the strategy goes. You adjust on the fly. This is what a locker room's been like for me for all these years. So it's not like I'm used. It's not like I'm used to people not making fun of me. This is cool. They had Kevin Hart was out there. And Kevin Hart said he was the host. No event or no topic was off the table. He said, Giselle gave you an ultimatum. She said, you retire, we're done. When you got a chance to go 8-9, it'll cost you your wife and your kids. You got to do what you got to do. It went out 8-9. Drew Bledsoe hit him. Yep, you'll never know. I got two things on you. And you'll never know what it's like to be number one drafted overall. And never going to know what it's like to have a 28th anniversary like I just had yesterday. So nothing was off limits. They hit him. Edelman and Gronk, and they all did shots. And Gronk, did you see Gronk spike his shot class? It was what I saw of it was pretty funny. Like, it might be worth me finding and spending a few minutes with it. But yeah, they went out and hit that yesterday. All right, news this morning: Jason Kidd signs a new deal or an extension with the Mavericks. That's kind of the big story as you go through today. We're coming off a weekend in which you got a Kentucky Derby that was as good a finish as we've ever seen in the Derby. They call it the closest three-horse finish in the history of the Kentucky Derby. 3 horses right there at the end. Mystic Dan is your winner. I got an email on the betting, by the way, and this may be right. Ron says, Jeff, as far as I know, the ban only applies to signals coming from tracks in Kentucky. Pimlico and Belmont are not affected and are available bet at the local tracks. I believe that to be right. So I believe for the Preakness and the Belmont, if you want to go out and bet them at the tracks, I believe you're going to be able to do that. I'll confirm all that as we get closer. But yeah, that's real. Second round matchups are all now set in the National Basketball Association. In fact, some of them are underway. Denver and Minnesota is underway. Game 2 will be tonight. With the Timberwolves having won the first game, it'll be the Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the other Western Conference semifinal. Kyrie Irving scored 28 of 30 in the second half. Mavericks advance. They'll take on Oklahoma City. Luka Doncic finally beats the Clippers. I didn't realize the Clippers had beat the Mavericks in the first 2 playoff series of Luka's career. I guess I didn't realize he had never beaten them. Because I never consider the Clippers as someone that no one's ever beat. No,
they can win a first-round series.
Yeah.
They've done that.
I never consider them the team, we can't get by the Clippers. I never heard anybody say that to me. What the Clippers do? 35-14 before February 6th. So that's what they could be. They were healthy, right? 44-24 during the season when Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard were on the court. But for the third time in 4 postseasons, Clippers are eliminated with Kawhi Leonard on the sideline with an injury. Tore his ACL Game 4 in 2021. He's played only 4 of 19 games. Gives you 4 of 19.
And that's why I don't get why they were so eager to give him that extension.
Because he had a good first half. He was really good. Or maybe they thought he was healthy. I don't know. Steve Ballmer likes to throw money around. Keep his buddies there. I don't disagree with you. Now you got Harden, who's an unrestricted free agent. Averaged 26.7 assists the first 4 games of the first round. And then 2 for 12 from the field and a 7.0 assist dud in Game 5. And where was it? George and Westbrook. There's Russell Westbrook in it too. Russell Westbrook, to me, has been pretty good for him.
Russell Westbrook is accepting where he is. And that's, you can either go to a below average team and get all the run you want, or realize that contract wise, take a little bit of a step back and be a role player off the bench on a winning team.
And I think he stays there, especially with his option. I don't know that he's going to get paid any more money. Paul George is the wild card to be here, and people will come after him, and it'll be the 76ers. It'll be a lot of other people. The Magic. They'll come after him hard. See Shohei's deal last night? Another multi-home run game for Shohei Ohtani. Dodgers just win. It's his 17th career multi-home run game. It feels like he just got in the league. He's everything they wanted, man. He's everything they wanted. They handled the Braves. He's 29 years old. He's hitting .345, 8 home runs, 22 RBI. He's stolen 7 bases on 7 attempts. Everything you'd expect from them. Are they boring? And it's sick to say they got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, they got everything you could ever want. Are they boring?
What do you mean by boring?
I mean, they're so damn good. And I don't even think they've hit their stride yet. The Dodgers are 23-11. They're 10 games over 500, 5.5 games clear of the Padres. And so it's not even like they're, no, I mean, they got close to the best record in baseball. The Phillies are playing really well. I just 63 run differential.
Yeah, it's boring when you win a lot of games but you don't win World Series.
Well, I mean, seriously.
So it's like, what are they even doing? Maybe they should share some of that. Spread some of that wealth around then if it's so boring.
But you explode it.
I'm going to try losing some games and playing from behind.
And I don't even know what that means, right? Because they're going out, there's Ohtani every night. Freddie Freeman hasn't really even got started yet. Will Smith is playing well. They're pitching.
If you're the Dodgers and Dodger fans, you don't care right now. You're
It's
like,
hard
do something
right?
in October.
Isn't it hard to at this point?
Because you expect this.
Yeah. It's like the Braves were in the 90s. With Bobby Cox and those teams that won every year and then just won one World Series. It's kind of like that to me. It's like, all right, yeah, that's cute and all, and you keep winning, and you're going to fly another flag, and you're going to win your 1,000th straight National League West. But are they built for the postseason? Is their pitching good enough? They'll acquire arms at the deadline, don't you think?
We're getting Walker Buehler back.
They are. Theoretically, he'll be. I mean, who knows what he'll be? He was terrific.
Manage his workload for sure, so he can be someone that you can give the ball to in October multiple times.
Okay. I mean, so far you have, yeah. I look at their team ERA too. I mean, they're still pitching. Gosh, they're isn't it amazing how that organization has just gotten pitching over the years like crazy. Like crazy. Glasnow's been really good for them. He's the first big league pitcher with 6 wins. Whatever wins mean to you these days. Paxton was great the other day. Yamamoto after the first start is 3-1.
Oh, remember that 24 hours
after he got drilled
up
in Korea.
In Korea,
yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, look what they've done. They've given all this money to this hack. Yeah. You know, and it's crazy to just look through it and see no Clayton Kershaw, no.
Do they have enough
Walker
pitching?
Buehler.
And then they attire Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
And
that was the quiet
Yamamoto, and they're still asking, do they have enough pitching?
With Buehler and maybe Kershaw available in the postseason? Do they?
Yes.
Are they boring?
When your expectations are just win a championship, I get it.
I mean, you just go out and win. It's something. They are home for Miami today. How far back will the Rockies finish? What would be the number that makes you think if I said 32 and a half games? I mean, that's disgusting, but it's right
doubling a little over doubling what they're at now.
Well, they're 14 now. We're not even, I mean, a little over a month into the season, right?
Oh, it'll be over.
So you think it'll be close to 40 games?
Do you know how far back they finished last year?
I don't.
41 games back.
Good Lord. And it's going to be worse than that this year. Yep.
And that's the team that went to the World Series finished 16 games back. So I can absolutely understand why Dodger fans are like, miss me with this regular season.
Seriously.
Win 100 games and you're not in the World Series.
I mean, it's fun. Winning's fun. And you watch the game, and I listen to my mom saying, they need more backup pitchers. I'm like, all right. She just bought a car for her 87th birthday this year.
Rockies finished 43 games back in 2022.
How many?
43.
So last year, 41. The year before, 43. So they got better. Man,
this is where baseball is just so in 2021.
Yeah,
the Arizona Diamondbacks in what was an unbelievable NL West because the Giants won 107 games, the Dodgers won 106 games. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The Diamondbacks finished 55 games back,
and then they were in the World Series.
Then they were in the World Series last
year. So 2 years later, they were in the World Series. That is insane. 2 years after finishing 55 games back. That's a third of the schedule. Holy smokes.
Rockies were only 32 and a half back there.
There you go. They're going the wrong way, though. I'll wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through your, what day is today? Monday. Coming up next, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the minutes. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot! Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
I'm on must win tonight.
So you think it's more than kind of got to win, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Nuggets want a chance to win this in 7 games. They have to win tonight.
Because otherwise, they got to win 4 out of 5.
Otherwise, I think it ends in 6 at the latest.
All right. So that's what you get tonight. Got this on the text line. It's from Terry. He says, wait, who won the in-season tournament? Hint, the Lakers. So they won early in the year and then went into a tailspin. Great take. Win more games. Just know everyone's fault except for LeBron. Blame the coach and the supporting cast. Kind of how it is. It's not LeBron's fault.
That's also the problem with sport in general.
Which,
like, sometimes you lose, and why does it have to be so much
actually,
fault?
very often you lose. Yeah, usually you lose.
Like, the 47 games was the most they've won in a regular season since winning the championship. And that was a weird, bubble season. In a Western Conference that was really good throughout the regular season. And they finished, just a couple games off the pace of getting the 6th seed. Like, it's the Lakers, we're hyper-focused on that team because of their fan base. But I wouldn't even look at LeBron James and say, have to say, oh, you need to take the fall for this. Darvin Ham, you need to take the fall for this. Like, you lost a first-round series.
For the defending champions.
On 2 walk-offs. By Jamal Murray.
But they determined that. right? The Lakers front office determined that somebody had to take the blame, and they went and fired their coach, right? So that they determined.
And so I guess it goes back to, if they're determining that, is LeBron. Is that the sense they're getting from LeBron, the sense they're getting from Rich Paul was, well, you know, if we had a better coach, you would have blocked one of those shots.
Well, I mean, how else do you take that?
Yeah.
How else do you take it? What, it's not Rich Paul. It's the GM, Pelinka. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, you're saying his agent. You're
Yes.
saying, yeah. All right. You're saying LeBron's agent. Yeah. Does a different coach make it better? Are they going to win that series? I mean, that's what they're saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, we have a better coach. We win that series. We can win the championship. All right. I mean, but so somebody's got to take the blame here. I agree with you, man. Look, 31 teams won't win this year. Now, some of them will walk away like Orlando, saying, all right, we're good. We're moving forward. And, you know, let's see how Oklahoma City feels if they don't win the whole thing. Denver's going to feel like they took a step backwards if they don't win. Minnesota's going to feel like they move forward. Indiana feels like they're moving forward. I mean, Cleveland.
It's with it being in the first round.
Yes, but stop playing into the play-in tournament. Do yourself a favor and everybody else, and stop finding yourself on the brink of not making the playoffs. That will help you and everybody else. Which means there's 82 games, which means there's 6 months in a season, and November, December, January, February count. Oh yeah, they won the in-season tournament. Yeah. But did you look around, like when they were playing games in that in-season tournament time, they won those in-season tournament games, but how'd they do in the rest of the games? Right in that area. They were losing. But they won those in-season tournament games on those horrible-looking floors. They're going to bring those floors back, by the way.
But here's the thing. Those games still count towards your
regular season. I understand that. They did. And you know, is that the coach? Is that, I don't know, man. When I got a veteran team, I got a 39-year-old guy who's telling me the best ever, and I got Anthony Davis, and I got D'Angelo Russell, and I got a team that's made up like that. I got to motivate them to go out and play every night. What should be the head coach's job at an NBA? I mean, you want to tell me at youth level or even at the college level, but they're professional athletes. Why do they need to be motivated every night to go out and play basketball?
I think it varies based on the type of roster you have.
And that's what I'm saying. You got this veteran roster.
And I don't think you're not looking at Darvin Ham to be some type of motivator.
I would hope not. All right, then what were the X's and O's that he did that weren't good enough that he's taken the hit?
Hey, look at this stretch it's December, right? They had 2 4-game losing streaks. Middle of December into early January.
Yep.
And you 8 games in that stretch of the season put you from playing for a top 6 seed to playing.
Yeah. All right, Ned just hit me. He said, no Robert Kraft jokes. LOL, that was the controversy surrounding the Brady roast. It was. So evidently, I think it was was it Kevin Hart? Somebody made a Robert Kraft massage joke. And so supposedly nothing was off limits.
Except.
And I guess Brady went up to him and was caught on an open mic saying, don't ever say that bleep again.
Unless were they trying to make a funny with like a Will Smith, Chris Rock type deal?
I don't know. I didn't see I just read the transcript on it. So I don't know.
If you're at a roast and Robert Kraft is there, you better believe they're making jokes.
Where else are you going? I mean, you look tense, Rob. Right? I mean, here, have a shot, get a massage, and feel better. I mean, it's easy. But yeah, supposedly Brady went over and just said, hey, cut that bleep out. Yeah, everything.
Unless that was like one of the things like Rob was like, I won't do this unless you guarantee there's no jokes about me.
Which is very possible. Yeah. Everything I've seen from this damn thing is actually really fun. Way funnier than the stuff I've said. Like Brady had some fun with Belichick near the end of the show. Quote, I've been out of the game a minute, so I'm curious, how many Super Bowl rings have you won since I left? Maybe it's not just the guy on the sideline. When I go to the Indy 500, I don't ask the winning driver, hey, who gassed up your car? I don't know, man. It's funny when you hear it. Everything, I'll look at it, man. I kind of want to find it. I do. I'm sure Netflix has it for me to go get when I want. Yeah, I kind of want to find it. All right, tonight, Indiana, New York. Who you like?
Overall, I have the Knicks in 6.
Who you like tonight?
Knicks.
Okay, and you got the Nuggets tonight, or?
Must-win game for Denver. Not the series is over.
Who do you think the favorite
the thermometer in them, and you'll see the temp.
What do you think the spread is? Nuggets and Timberwolves.
Denver 3.5.
5.5.
No way.
It's thick, right?
They've been way over. The same thing happened in the last game of the Lakers series. It was like 7.5. It got to like no way.
Knicks Pacers. What do you think?
Knicks 2.5.
5.5.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Totals are pretty low. 206 in the Nuggets game. 206.5. 217.5 in the Pacers and Knicks. All right, so we'll have fun tomorrow though, because this is going to be one where it starts to take form. And if Denver can win and kind of turn the tide, how do they win? How do they look? I don't even matter. It's how they win. They just need to win.
They need to not be down by double digits in the first 5 minutes of the basketball.
Like they are every night?
That would help.
Maybe if they had a
6
different
straight
coach.
playoff games.
You know, Darvin,
at this point in time, Michael Malone's on the hot.
Dude, Darvin, stop.
I'm not stopping it.
How?
You got 6 straight games, and you've been down by 9 or more points in every playoff game.
You know who's leading every playoff game at halftime? Darvin Ham. How'd that help?
Fired.
Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On's here at 4 o'clock. We're back tomorrow with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian looks good on the video. Thank you. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please, boys and girls. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.